Recall the chiasm of Daniel 8:23 through 25a. Recall its fourth or middle layer, and shall prosper and practice. We have another similar chiasm in Daniel. The chiasm of Daniel 8 and 11, 8:10 through 12, and 11:31 through 39. We will examine it, starting at the middle layer, working out. Layer 6, or the middle layer. And it practiced and prospered. Daniel 8:12b. Note, the chiasm of Daniel 8:23 through 25a had the very similar and shall prosper and practice here. Exact same Hebrew, just with the word order reversed. Layer 5. And an host was given him against the daily by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground. Daniel 8:12a. An arm shall stand on his part. Daniel 11:31a. And military host, tsa-ba, feminine tseb-a-a, was given the little horn of the north. Military forces, zur-o-a, feminine zur-o-a, shall stand for the king of the north. Layer 4. And the place of his sanctuary was cast down. Daniel 8:11c. And they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength. Daniel 11:31b. The place of his sanctuary, heaven, was cast down, to give the sanctuary to be trodden under foot. Daniel 8:13. With unclean feet. And thus they shall pollute the sanctuary. Layer 3. And by him the daily was taken away. Daniel 8:11b. And shall take away the daily, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. Daniel 11:31c. The daily was taken away. Take away the daily. The Hebrew for take away is different, but the meaning is the same. Layer 2. And it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host. Daniel 8:10b, 11a. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil, many days. Daniel 11:32 through 35. A persecuted people, sword, flame, captivity, and spoil, cast down of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Are stars equivalent to people? The host and the stars, or starry host, NIV. Persecuted. And it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Daniel 8:10. Instructors. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Daniel 12:3. Notice the parallel thoughts. They that be wise in the ways of the Lord are they that turn many to righteousness. The brightness of the firmament is the stars. They, the wise, the stars, shall shine forever and ever. Clearly, the wise are stars, instructors and persecuted. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days. Daniel 11:33. And they that be wise among the people shall instruct many in righteousness? Sounds the same to me. They that be wise turn many to righteousness. They that be wise instruct many in righteousness? At the risk of being overly obvious, we have persecuted stars and persecuted wise instructors in righteousness, and the wise instructors in righteousness are stars. So the host and the stars, which are cast down to the ground and stamped upon, Daniel 8:10, are they that understand, which fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity and by spoil, many days, Daniel 11:13. Returning back to the chiasm, are stars equivalent to people? No, not just any people. Stars are equivalent to they that understand, that be wise in righteousness, that are instructors of many. Layer 1. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven, Daniel 8:10. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself, and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods. Daniel 11:36-39. Is the host of heaven the God of gods? We already have pretty strong evidence that it is, that evidence being in the chiasm itself, with 4 layers being proved parallels, implying the last. But we need to be certain. We can obtain further certainty by looking at layer 1 and layer 2 together. Here we see a common pattern, God with his people. Attack on God and on his people in Daniel, in the prophecies. Daniel 7:25. He shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. Chiasm of Daniel 8:10-12, 11:31-39. It waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host. He shall exalt himself, and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods. They that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days. Daniel 8:25. He shall magnify himself in his heart. See Isaiah 14:12-14. And by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes. Note, Daniel 7:25's speak great words against the Most High, and Daniel 11:31-39's speak marvelous things against the God of gods. Note, Daniel 8:10-12's the prince of the host, and Daniel 8:25's the prince of princes. This pattern without doubt adds weight to the notion that the host of heaven is the God of gods. But there is still uncertainty. How can we be certain? What is Daniel 8:10-12's it waxed great even to the host of heaven? How can we know? Daniel 8:25's he shall magnify himself in his heart explains it, it being the angelic explanation of Gabriel. Okay, but then what is Daniel 8:25's he shall magnify himself in his heart? The answer lies in Isaiah 14:12-14. Lucifer and the little horn. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Isaiah 14:12-14. And he shall magnify himself in his heart. Daniel 8:25. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. Daniel 8:10-11. Notice that it says of Lucifer that his fall started in thine heart. But we are told a similar thing concerning the little horn, that it started in his heart. But Daniel 8:25 is the angelic interpretation of the following, Daniel 8:10, etc. Daniel 8:25 says specifically that he, the little horn, shall magnify himself in his heart. So this is a thing of pride for the little horn. Pride. That is certainly Lucifer's problem also. Now to analyze the details of both Lucifer and the little horn's pride. Of Lucifer we read that he desired to ascend into heaven. Thoughts which are mirrored by the little horn, which in pride wax great to heaven. How do we know that it was in pride that he waxed great and not in reality? Because as we mentioned, Daniel 8:25 in his heart, that is in pride, is the interpretation of Daniel 8:25. This is emphasized by the fact that magnify himself 8:25 and waxed great 8:10 are underlyingly the same Hebrew. Thus it waxed great even to the host of heaven would have been better translated as it magnified itself even to the host of heaven. Of Lucifer we also read that he desired to exalt himself above the stars. He wanted to rule over or subjugate the stars. A sentiment mirrored by the little horn, who dominates the stars by casting them down to the ground and stamping upon them. Isaiah 14:12-14 mentions a mount of the congregation. What is this? To understand what this is making reference to, we must look at the Jerusalem of Bible times. A comparison with Psalm 48:2 reveals the mount of the congregation to be Mount Zion, the mount upon which Jerusalem is built. Isaiah continues with, in the sides of the north. What is in the sides of the north of Mount Zion? The temple. And this is where Lucifer desires to establish himself, in the north. But the little horn has a similar desire, and is in fact established in the north, for we see him arise out of the north horn. Finally, of Lucifer we read that he has grandiose ambitions, for he thinks, I will be like the Most High. But the little horn has similar ambitions as he magnifies himself, lifts himself in pride, even to the prince of the host, if we understand the prince of the host to be the Son of God. Recall that in the sides of the north is a reference to the temple, and so Lucifer's fall involves a desecration of the temple. But this is also the case with the little horn, who is established in the north, for we read that the place of the sanctuary is cast down. Clearly, there is a connection between the fall of Lucifer and the little horns waxed great to the host of heaven. Its prideful rise up to or against heaven. After all, the texts bear too much in common. But is this positively an attack on God? Lucifer and the little horn, to be like God. Note, our Bible text will not be read serially from start to finish, but in a manner that highlights their structure. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. Note, don't miss the parallel imagery or idea of ascending into heaven, ascending above the heights of the clouds. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. What is this mount of the congregation in the sides of the north? As we saw previously, the mount of the congregation is Mount Zion, and in the sides of the north of Mount Zion is the location of Solomon's temple. Thus the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north is a reference to the temple. But what throne would be associated with the temple? The ark. For God said, And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the two cherubims, which are upon the ark of the testimony. Exodus 25:22. I will be like the Most High. Isaiah 14:12-14. I cannot emphasize this enough. Don't miss the parallel thought here, that of sitting on the ark, God's throne, in his temple, and being like the Most High. We will now see that the little horn, Antichrist, as presented in 2 Thessalonians 2, has these same satanic Luciferian characteristics. That man of sin, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God. Notice both Lucifer and the little horn, Antichrist, speak of sitting in God's throne in his temple, shewing himself that he is God. 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4. Notice, both Lucifer and the little horn, Antichrist, speak of being like the Most High, or shewing others that they are God. Both Lucifer and the little horn, the Antichrist, want to be like God. They want to sit in his throne, in his temple, and have his power, but not his character. Don't miss this. Both Lucifer and the little horn are planning theocide, the murder of God. Both desire God's throne, and how can one obtain what is not one's own except that one is willing to take extreme measures to get it? The devil was a murderer from the beginning. John 8:44. What then is Daniel 8:25's? He shall magnify himself in his heart. It is an attack on God, as seen through Isaiah 14:12-14, specifically attempted theocide, the murder of God. And since Daniel 8:25 explains Daniel 8:10, and Daniel 8:25 is an attack on God, then that means Daniel 8:10 is also an attack on God. So is the host of heaven the God of gods? Yes, most certainly it is. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven is most certainly an attack on God. So once again, here is our chiasm. Recall the parallels between Daniel 7 and Daniel 8. And also what we learned about the little horn and its connection to the Jews. It destroyed them. Who is the little horn? The fourth kingdom in Daniel 2, 7, and 8 through 12. In Daniel 2, the fourth kingdom is symbolized by the legs and feet of the statue. Iron is the unifying element. In Daniel 7, the fourth kingdom is symbolized by the nondescript beast. The beast is the unifying element. In Daniel 8:12, the fourth kingdom is symbolized by the little horn. The little horn is the unifying element. In Daniel 2, the third kingdom is symbolized by the belly and thighs of the statue. In Daniel 7, the third kingdom is symbolized by the leopard with 4 heads and 4 wings of a bird. In Daniel 8 through 12, the third kingdom is symbolized by the goat. In Daniel 2, the united phase of the fourth kingdom is an absence of clay, while the divided phase is a presence of miry clay, iron mixed with miry clay. In Daniel 7, the united phase of the fourth kingdom is an absence of horns, while the divided phase is the presence of eyes of a man and a mouth speaking great words against the Most High. 10 horns plus a little horn with eyes of a man and a mouth speaking great words against the Most High. Finally, in Daniel 8 through 12, the united phase of the fourth kingdom is a horizontal movement of the little horn on the surface of the earth. The little horn waxed exceeding great towards the south, towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. While the divided phase is a vertical movement of the little horn. The little horn waxed great even to the host of heaven. Thus the divided phase of the fourth kingdom is characterized by a decidedly religious element in each of the 3 prophetic visions of Daniel. The miry clay of Daniel 2's vision of the statue, the eyes of a man and the mouth speaking great words against the Most High of Daniel 7's vision of the 4 beasts from the sea, and the prideful waxing great to the host of heaven movement of Daniel 8 through 12's vision of the ram and the he-goat. Rome. Why a little horn? Rome starts out very little, but it grows. The Roman kingdom, 500 BC, just previous to the transition to the Republic. The Republic, 338 BC, just after the Latin War. The Republic, 298 BC, at the start of the Third Samnite War. The Republic, 290 BC, at the end of the Third Samnite War. The Republic, 272 BC, at the end of the Pyrrhic War. The Republic, 264 BC, at the start of the First Punic War. The Republic, 218 BC, at the start of the Second Punic War. The Republic, 133 BC, at the end of the Macedonian and Punic Wars. The Republic, 44 BC, on the eve of the assassination of Julius Caesar. The Empire, AD 14, at the time of Caesar Augustus's death. The Empire after AD 14. The Empire, AD 115 to 117, at its greatest extent at the time of Trajan's death.